let's talk about the rest of the seventh chords. This is on page 244 in your text, beginning with the 4-7 chord. If I'm in the key of D, as in example 15-12, I have a 4 chord as a G7, a major 7. I could be in D minor, then it would be a 4 minor 7. I could be in the melodic minor, and look at this, it would be a dominant 7. But as you'll see, it doesn't have a dominant 7 function. That's just to make the 6 go to the 7 without an augmented second. Okay, so the resolution is often to 2. It's headed to 5, but goes through 2 on the way often. Would you play with me example 15-13, a 4 chord going to a 2 chord? Only one thing had to move, just the 7th step down. Okay? There is an issue if I go straight to 5, I might get parallel 5ths. So there are 2 ways to avoid it. I could have a 1-6-4, remember that delays going to the 5. Or when I go to the 5, I could double the 5th. So I'm having 2 B's there. Instead of this, it becomes, okay? There is a great example here, the Bach chorale. I'd like to play through this nice and slowly, but you'll see some interesting things. The highlighted 4 chord there has a raised 6th, the C sharp, to the D sharp, to the E. That's to avoid the augmented second. And so, as we just pointed out, that gives a sound of a dominant 7 there. But you'll hear it doesn't go, it doesn't have a dominant function. And then after that, you'll see a 5 minor. That's because the 7th, which was a D sharp ascending, is now lowered to be a D natural. So that 5 became 5 minor. And the next chord is a 4 minor 6. Now the 4 chord has the 6th lowered. Okay? The other interesting thing in this is that there's a Phrygian half cadence. You remember that was 4 to 5 in minor. And you're going to hear that here. Let's play this. 15-14. 1, 2, 3. Hope you heard all those details in there. Now we're going to the 6-7 chord. Now we're going to the 6th chord. And we have 3 choices here with the 7th on the 6th chord. There's a minor 7th in major. In minor, it's a major 7. And a very wild possibility, if you raise the 6th degree, we get a sharp 6 half diminished 7th. Be patient, we'll get to that. Let's play the examples. 15-16, we'll play this in C major, so you can hear 6 to 2. That's a complete to incomplete chord. And in B, if they're both complete. Okay, part C. And the last one, a little awkward there. It sounds slightly like parallel octaves going to those 2 Fs. So best to use A or B. In minor, when you raise that sixth, as we talked about in the last Bach example, look at the bass line with me, would you please? So we're in A minor. F sharp, G sharp to A. Okay? Because I can't have an augmented second there. So I raise the F sharp. But when I do, that gives me not just the sixth note of A minor is F. This is F sharp. It creates a diminished triad with a major third, so half diminished 7. And you'll see it's in parentheses here because it really doesn't go to 7. It's kind of a bridge between the 5 and the 7. So let me just play the 5 to the sharp 6, half diminished 7. Would you play the whole thing with me? Let's go to the 1 chord now. And you know, it kind of loses its tonal stability if you put a 7th on that 1 chord. So it tends to go somewhere. It tends to go to the 4, maybe to a 2 or a 6. And either one of those could also have a 7th. When you resolve it, there needs to be a sixth degree of the scale in the following chord so that the 7th can go down. Let's see what that would look like. If we're in the D major, example 15-19, in D major, we have a 1 major 7. There's the C sharp, and it's going down to the B. So what they're saying is the second chord has to have a B in it, the 6th note of the scale. So all together, or if you went to a 2, 7th, you can keep the D in the bass that way. Good possibilities. The 4th one. And the last one with the leading tone in the bass. So, very nice. There's a great example by Clara Schumann. Let's play it together. And let's talk about it on page 248. So the 7th here of the 1 chord appears halfway through the measure. It's highlighted there. So it begins with a D major triad, and then we have the passing figure 7th, and it goes to the 4 chord as a 4/3 suspension. Okay? I want to point out in the second phrase that that little gruppetto is in the wrong place. It should be on the G 8th note, if you care. Let's play it. You've got outer parts. You may want to just play those. If you can add the inner parts, even better. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So doesn't that make you just want to go get the rest of the pieces? So beautiful. Let's look at the 3 chord. The 3/7 chord is the least used, and basically you're going to find it in sequences. So we have a great sequence here by Corelli. And let's look just at the bass line. Okay? C minor. See up a 4th, down a 5th. And far talk about sequences, because you notice that the chords, these seventh chords, are complete, then incomplete, complete, and then incomplete. And also notice how they go down by step. Each member of each chord either stays the same or goes down by step. So let's start this from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so look through the checkpoint, but we're going to go on and talk about these sequences, the seventh chords and the circle of fifth sequence. You're going to see this all over the place. In fact, after we're done, I'm going to let you find as many instances of it as you can in the workbook and the text. There are about a dozen in this chapter. All right, so let's look at the first example, 15-23, because we have some rules here. If you look up at number 1, if the seventh chords are in root position in a 4-part texture, complete chords will alternate with incomplete. That's what we just played. When they're incomplete, it's the fifth that you leave out. Okay? If the seventh chords are inverted, 6 5s alternate with 4 2s, or 4 3s alternate with root position. This is really cool. I could put it on the board, but I think I want you to just play each part and then see how it goes. So let's do the soprano. This is the B flat of the 4 chord. Stepping down to the A flat, stays the same, steps down, stays the same, and then it just resolves here, 5 to 1. The alto does a similar thing. Stays the same, steps down, stays the same, steps down. Okay? And the tenor stays the same, steps down, stays the same, steps down. Okay? So if I just put the upper 3 parts together, you'll hear that one part is staying the same while the other 2 are moving down. You get a suspension. And all together, play it with me. Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to have that leapy bass? Well, what you need to remember is that when you write sequences with seventh chords, always keep the note the same or move it down by step. And here we have alternating 6 5 and 4 2 chords. Okay? Remember, your sevenths are going down by fifths. So we have 4 7 3 6 2 5 1. You probably remember us saying that. So here we are, part B. Go ahead and play the soprano and alto first. The same step down, the same down. These parts could be arranged differently. The same movement though. Same. And now together. See what it sounds like if we alternate 4 3s with root position sevenths. Top of page 250. So you can see in that instance they had the inner parts moving together and the outer parts moving as a pair. So go find sequences.